Welcome back to the After Stang Show. Appreciate our friends at Status Jet for supporting us at ontheponyexpress.com. Of course, we're joined every post game by Jonathan McGill, and hey, this was quite the experience here in Memorial Stadium for the Mustangs as they took a lead, never gave it up really, and rolled to a 35-24 win. I mean, it just feels like one of obviously the biggest wins in the Rhett Lashley era, but a game now that you can build even more confidence off of.
Yeah, 100%. I think, the atmosphere was, one of the best in the country, I think, for the players, for the fans. It was just an excellent experience. Clemson was a great job in hosting us. And it was really a memorable game, I would say. Kind of similar a little bit to Louisville last year, right? Going to hostile territory. Momentum's kind of going back and forth. We had the lead majority of the game, similar to now. And I think, Kevin Jennings made plays when he needed to. Jordan Hudson with an amazing game. Derek McFall seems like we're saying his name every single week, who has touchdowns. And then defensively, right? You get off the field when you need to. Was everybody, was tensed up a little bit that 4th and 20. That's not, easy to see. But I think that this team has shown that in times, as of, post-bye week, they've been able to buckle down and really lock in on things when it matters the most.
And speaking of bowing up, that offensive drive, responding, finishing it out with the Chris Johnson Jr. touchdown drive, you see Clemson kind of close the gap, and you're like, okay, is this going to end up kind of like the Baylor game? That was what, you guys were on the field doing your thing. Everybody else was like, oh no. And, little Clemson magic was, starting to kind of get rolling, but the offense really shut the door. What does it say about this team to develop that killer instinct to get across the finish line there?
Yeah, I think it was beautiful to see. Our offense gets the ball with 6 or 7 minutes left, and end up having about a 5-minute drive, 6-minute drive, to where Clemson gets the ball back down, 2 possessions, having to score, and also having the opportunity as our offense to have that killer instinct, have that, we're not going to settle for a field goal. Love seeing Coach Lashley go for it on that 4th down. Yamir Knight with a great route had to draw the pass interference and kept that drive going. And so I think that this team, different guys stepped up at different moments. RJ Maryland with a great game, Matthew Hibner with a great one-handed touchdown that responded to the Clemson one-handed touchdown. And can't say good enough things about Kevin, can't say enough things about this running back room, and really excited to see how this offense has continued to take the next step each and every game, as this was probably the hardest defense that they would have to see so far. Louisville, obviously, watching
you
them
guys were watching that,
watching Louisville yesterday, that's going to be another valuable test, but getting that stamp of, this defense has, 3 to 4, first-round guys, perhaps, and so I think that this gives this team a lot of confidence.
Rolling on the Pony Express After Stang Show, presented by our friends at the Thomas Auto Group, headed up 75 in McKinney to visit any of their Ford dealerships, Ford, Subaru, Volkswagen, Mitsubishi. Here with Jonathan McGill post-game here in Memorial Stadium in Clemson, South Carolina. The defense, starting as well as they did, being able to get some pressure. Brandon Maiazono forces a fumble early in the game. That was big. The turnover battle was split. That was really important in the game. The defense allowing Rhett Lashley and the offensive staff to kind of stay patient is something that he brought up. What the defensive mindset going into this one, what was it like kind of before this one, and just what you guys wanted to accomplish going into the game?
Yeah, I think Coach Simons always definitely wants teams to earn it, right? And that's kind of the big motto. Don't give up explosive or big chunk plays, especially in conference games, because these games, it's 1 or 2 possessions that really decide if you win or if you lose, if you're celebrating in the locker room or if you're, frustrated going on the bus, having to fly home. And so really making teams earn it. I think that this defense did a great job. 4th down stops is something that, we've gone accustomed to seeing from this team all the way back. Syracuse, and then Stanford, you have the 4th and goal. Then we have the 96-yard interception. And then today you have, multiple 4th and 1 stops, especially, they bring in, big number 11 to play running back. And, Zay, Brandon, Cam Roberson with a great game. I think he played excellent, and he's starting to really find his stride. And what we're had preseason hype about with Cam and Turbo, we're starting to see that in conference games. And so I'm excited for them, and I'm excited to see what this staff can do.
How much stress does that Clemson wide receiver group put on a defense when you're facing them?
100%. I think this was the most talented receiver unit we've seen, and one of the top in the country, if I'm being completely honest. Antonio Williams and Brian Wesco and TJ Parker, and they have some freshmen that even have opportunity to really make plays. And so their offensive staff did a great job in recruiting those guys. All of those guys are dynamic yards after catch guys, and so it's pretty challenging as a defense to stay on top of those guys and really rally to the football that don't give them that many yards after reception.
Kevin Jennings and what he was able to do battling through the injury again. Some of the plays he's just making these days are just they're kind of, you don't know how to even describe what you're seeing. What does he mean to this football team and just his leadership and how it's emerged and grown?
Yeah, I think he's a huge heartbeat to this team. I think guys get inspired by Kevin. I know defensively we love seeing Kevin running around, making throws that we see in practice, right?
Sure.
That he does to us in practice.
Yeah.
It's great to see him do it to the opponents on game days. He just, is a very athletic, very gifted quarterback, and I think that you see it's clicking in his head about how confident he can be, right? He can, command this offense to do great things. He leads by example, does a great job in, not, losing his cool after negative plays or stalled possessions, but just stays to it, stays with it. And I credit that to Coach King, credit that to Coach Lashley, working with him. And so I'm just very excited to see Kevin. I love him coming into his own, dancing a little bit. I don't know if you saw the TV copy yet, but him and Hibner had a little dance that they did after Hibner scored. And so it's great to see. Huge shout out to those guys.
And lastly, let's close with this. This has got to be a win that is, one, emotional, obviously huge to stay undefeated in ACC play.
Yeah.
How does this team make sure everything doesn't, boil over to next week? How much attention are you guys going to have to face, making sure everybody puts this one behind come Sunday night, really? Yeah,
I think the coaching staff does a great job with that. You get, about 24 hours to celebrate it, right? So be happy, talk about it on the bus, be happy on the plane. And then once kind of Sunday comes, right, that's when, okay, we have to turn this chapter and focus on Wake Forest, who is a good team as well. I really do like their coach. He's done a great job in coming from Washington State to come into Wake Forest. And so I think that's another challenge, right? It's now 20 straight conference wins that this SMU team and Coach Lashley has done. And so this is, huge credit to him, always having guys prepared and really being able to play at a high level. And so I know they don't want to lose that streak, and I'm not jinxing anything, so don't say I'm jinxing anything. But another great opportunity to see how mature is this football team. And I think that's something we'll see on Saturday as we'll be in Wake Forest, and so I can't wait.
Awesome. For Jonathan McGill, I'm Billy Embody. Thanks for listening to this edition of the After Stank Show. As always, want to thank our friends at AKM Turf and Greens as well. Go to akmturfandgreens.com for $500 off your project today and revamp your backyard. It's a great time of year to do that with the fall weather kind of coming in. Make sure you have the backyard of your dreams with our friends at AKM Turf and Greens. And of course, appreciate Northwest Insurance Agency for sponsoring us as well. Make sure you give Mark Villasana and his team a call. But for Jonathan McGill, I'm Billy Embody signing off from Clemson, South Carolina, as SMU gets a 35-24 win over the Clemson Tigers, who are falling now to 3-4 on the year, right? 3-4?
3-4.
So,
yes, sir.
And SMU now 5-2 on the year. So appreciate Jonathan, as always, for stopping by, and hope you guys enjoy this one out there and have a great time. So we'll catch you next time on the After Stank Show. Thanks for listening.